Hello and welcome. This is a new day, new episode. It's not extremely cold out today. It's 30 degrees. We're supposed to get up to 45 as a high. But while I'm outside of the bus, I wanted to look at try to get that clamp. I forgot to grab that. I realized that. I wanted to look at where this wiring runs to and from out of there. So that's the corner where it all comes out. So that one goes to the light, of course. Oh, don't tell me the fuel pump wiring comes through all that. I hope not. To look back at this footage because I don't want to get too down and dirty just quite yet today because I don't know what I'm doing. I might have to do some other things today, not bus related, which would mean filming. So I'm not quite sure what I'm doing today. I do know that I should be going to pick up a battery for the bus, a solar battery, not a bus battery. I already replaced that, so hopefully that works out. I need to do something about these gaskets. I saw this flapping in the wind going down the highway yesterday. I mean, I can tuck it back in there for now, but ultimately it needs to be fixed. Yeah. So let's get inside there. I'll get the heater cranking, just get it warmed up, and then we'll take a look around and figure out what we're gonna do, if anything, today. I think I'm gonna hold off a little bit on the wiring stuff for now. I did look at the video. It looks like this green wire is just a ground down there. And it looks like maybe one of these wires is coming up through the bottom and some of these are going down through. So I think one of these is like the light, one of them is this fan, and then the other one I think comes up through for something. So I'm gonna hold off on that, but I just started peeling away at this trim, which is just glued to the metal frame, and I have styrofoam in here, the styrofoam model, but this wall is also just glued up along, so I just took the pry bar and peeled it up, but it is kind of fragile and can break. Oh, it's fiberglass. So yeah, we'll want to be careful with that and not get too many pieces of shrapnel. But yeah, I'm gonna start peeling away at that, see how it goes around these windows, and how to potentially get it out, hopefully without dropping the window out. So as you can see here, I just got the pry bar beneath the trim. You just peel it up. Hard to do with one hand, but you can hear the glue just releasing. Unless you try to take too big of a chunk. So I'm gonna use two hands and quit doing that, but it's very easy. It just peels right up. I got a new approach. Just yank. Just let it tear. There doesn't seem to be any dust. It's all pretty well set. It is pretty tight around these windows. And I really do not want to unscrew those screws with nobody to potentially catch the window out there. So I think I'm gonna just keep yanking on it, and hopefully I can get it all peeled away around the windowsills. So as you can see, a lot of it is stripped down now. around these windows is very tight. It is cut out around it, but it's just like where the window seal goes over the metal is super tight in these areas. These areas is fine because you got the foam to squish into, right? But these other areas are a bit harder, and they're still glued in. But once you do loosen it up or get enough wiggle room, it does just peel right off. So ideally, like, these window frames would be taken out, unscrewed, and then you'd peel all this off. But I don't want to risk these windows falling out or the seals breaking on them, because I think right now they're relatively sealed. I don't feel any moisture in the foam necessarily, so that's good. So as I peeled off the fiberglass shit from this lower layer, I did find some wet spots. This foam came from there, but you can see there's some moisture on this panel, which is from right here. And I'm like, okay, well, it's dry up here underneath the window. There's no signs of anything, but it's wet down here. Well, one of them is the bolt for this door hanger thing out there. It looks like. So that has been leaking in here. Hence the floor is like that a little bit. I don't know what the fuck this paper shit is though. This is all wet. That's what I peeled off there. I don't know what this is. Like, is this like somebody's repair? I don't know what's going on here. Because the rest of this is, I have no paper shit, so it's like, what's behind this paper? Is this paper supposed to be the body? I don't know what's going on here. Somebody put a cardboard repair over this thing? I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't know. Do they coat the metal with fucking paper? I don't understand. But I'm gonna keep peeling this foam away, especially around here, see if there's anything else going on. I got this piece removed. What I did, since it's just me and I don't want to risk taking these full frames off and potentially unsealing the window or dropping it out, I just loosened them. So to get the top piece out, I just loosened the top bolts, ripped it all out from there, tightened it back up, get this middle one out. I loosened both sides of these, just those, and then I cracked it all out. Obviously, it'd be a lot easier if you can just remove the frames. So if you know your windows are not going to fall out, remove the frames, reseal the windows while you're at it. I want to do that, but I just don't have any help to do that. I think that back window definitely needs a reseal. You can see the rust that's been forming because of it. So yeah, I don't know how these ones are necessarily sealed up and if I have to buy a gasket for that. But these ones, I know I can just get some window weld to put on the outside of it to seal them up. But yeah, I got that piece removed. I'm gonna work on this one next and get that part off, and then this wall right here will be stripped besides this styrofoam, which should pop out pretty easily. I mean, it's glued on, so I'm gonna have to chunk it out, but I should be able to get it all off. Not peeling out, like chipping away like those bottom ones, you know. All the fiberglass is off of this one wall panel. Like I said, I still got the styrofoam to peel off, but I got all the edges around the windows done. I did find a broken screw on this window. I think it was that one. Yeah, it's this one. It just keeps spinning, so that'll need to get replaced, but whenever it gets resealed. Ideally, my emergency window wouldn't be right there. I'd probably move it over to like this one and put the regular window there, because that's probably going to be storage, so there's no need for an emergency window to be there because it's not going to get utilized properly. This one, it's not a bad location for it, but ideally I'd probably move it over one as well. But if I don't reseal them or move them around or take them out at all, they're fine where they are for now. And I can still build on my other stuff where I want it, and those can get moved down the line. Because ideally I'll keep them serviceable. So yeah, I think I'm gonna take a little break, and I gotta do some things. So I'm gonna run and pick up that battery. I'm gonna sell some old batteries that I have, get my scrap check fixed because they put the wrong name on it. Battery is acquired. It's a 100 amp hour lithium battery. It's got BMS, an internal BMS, and it also has an internal heating pad, so it'll keep itself regulated. We are out here at this like printing place, but they have these amazing views out here. Holy shit. I was coming down in here and I was like, wow, what a place to have a, industrial factory. But I guess this is a magazine printing place. I never knew about it. It's all hidden away, just like Vermont does. It's got these little wind turbines all over the place. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I got the battery. That was $250 for a 100 amp hour battery. I'd say that's pretty good because I think that's like $1,000 battery, if I'm not mistaken. But it's only a couple of years old, and like a couple of years ain't nothing. Because according to what the guy said, he hasn't really used it much. It hasn't been cycled very much. So even with a couple of years of age and very little cycling, it's probably got just about brand new capacity in it. So I think that'd be a nice option. Yeah, look at those views down there. See, that's the nice part about Vermont. You get to see all these mountain views, but the harsh reality is you can't afford those mountain views. Sorry. So I'm back home. As you can tell, I'm in the bus. It is a very warm day out. It is it's about mid-afternoon now. Now that I'm back, I ran some errands today. I picked up that battery, as you probably just saw. And at this point, I also stopped and checked out some cabinets on my way back. I wasn't sure if I was going to buy cabinets or just build some shelves, but I found a good deal on some really nice cabinets. So since it's a good deal, I will take the time to add the cabinets in and make it look nice in here. That'll definitely bring it to another level of looking professional, or more legit than me just setting up some jank ass looking shit in here that works, because ultimately, as long as it works, it doesn't matter what it looks like. I've built a lot of shit in my lifetime that looks really weird and crazy, but it gets the job done, and that's all that matters. And it was built with whatever I had at whatever price point I could afford, which sometimes is $0. This is a budget build. Yes, I'm spending money to build it, but I'm not spending a lot of money. All right, now some of you maybe think, oh, well, you're buying this, you're buying that, you bought foam board. I haven't gone over any of the pricing yet, but I am keeping track of everything, and we will go over that. And this is not going to be an expensive build out by any means, and it will be very doable for many people. I do not have that much experience building stuff. I'd love to if anybody would let me, but I can't buy land to just do my own thing. I can't build a house. I can't do any of that in this modern world with the resources that I'm provided in the world these days at my age. So unless you come from wealth, it's kind of hard to get your foot in the door. So I figure I can build my house on wheels. There aren't really any rules or regulations necessarily for who has to do it and how it has to be done, as long as the car aspect of it runs and drives safely, and that's inspectable or legal to drive on the road. I got plates, I got insurance, I got a current inspection sticker. This bus is legal to drive on the road, and under the state of Vermont, it is classified as a motorhome already. So I already got that part covered. So at this point, it's really just up to me to put whatever I want in it to make it my living space. Which, if you couldn't tell, that's what I'm doing. I'm making this into my living space, which I think is very doable, very easy and cheap. I don't require that much to live off of. And at this point, I'm going a little above and beyond what I was originally planning. I was originally planning super basic, minimalistic, enough to fit in a car. But at this point, now that I have access to the bus, which is really nice, and a lot more room to do my things that I need to do to live, like cooking and cleaning and sleeping in an enclosed space rather than cooking and cleaning outside and only sleeping, in my trailer. So it is going to be affordable. I'll go over all the pricing with you guys when we get to that point. And then we'll start running. We'll do a running tally. But again, I want to get to that initial, like almost like if I were building a house, pouring the concrete. Once you have that foundation in place, it's just setting it up from there. It's just building the house from there, right? So right now, I'm trying to get that foundation into place. I'm fixing the van or the bus so that, it is drivable and decent working order, and I have more parts for that. But I'm also gathering parts for the living space too. But I'm also getting to that foundation part. Because right now, we still got dirt. I gotta get rid of all of this flooring crap, all this ceiling crap, all this foam crap. Then we're at a foundation, something I can start with. We're at ground zero. I can put all my stuff into it from there and make it into what I'm going for. So I think we're gonna continue at that tonight. I think I want to tackle the flooring again. I know I'm kind of bouncing around because I tore that wall off, but what I'm doing here is digging into small parts so that I know what I'm working with, right? I dug into the floor. I saw that most of it is pretty good. I know I'm working with a pretty solid subfloor. I just got to peel the rest of it up, okay? I tore into that door. I learned that we got 1-inch foam in there. And I learned the inner workings of it and how those panels come off. Cool. Now we're into the wall. This is part of the bus really now. Like this is the really questionable part because they change it up between all sorts of buses. And so how my framing is going to lay out, because now that I'm really looking at this, like these, I don't know if these support beams are in line with each other, because this top one definitely is not. Like this does not line up with that. It may look like it, but it does not. These two might, but that does not. At least it sure shit doesn't look like it. So I need to figure that stuff out for framing this out. If that's what I'm doing. So yeah. But I think I'm gonna tackle the floors. I might move these materials out of the bus for now because, well, they don't need to be in the bus because they're not gonna get installed quite yet. But I do not want to put them in the garage either because, well, that's what the garage does. It's a wet mess. So I don't want to put nice materials in the garage. But it is kind of a pain to walk them in and out of the house. I moved the foam and the panels for now. Now I'm just gonna go into getting some more of this flooring up, and then I'll put the tarp down so that I don't keep getting, since it's turning to mud out there, I don't keep tracking so much water onto the plywood. So I've stripped up all the laminate or whatever this vinyl shit, I don't even know what it is, all the way up to basically where that bar is. So I'm relocating stuff. I vacuumed out this area and I'm piling up, take off parts there. I will move some of this stuff over, and I'll lay the tarp down wherever I'm working, and probably just keep it down the aisle, so as I come in and out. Yeah, that strip I can basically just rip up at this point. I took out what screws I could. The rest of them are just going to pull out. That's how most of them are. No concerning looks of the wood on this part so far, besides there is a little hole to the outside right there. There's a cutout, I guess, to like the wheel well or somewhere down there, and one of the screws for the rail went through it. So, but that, along with all the other holes in the floor, are gonna get sealed. I got some sealant for that, but I'm waiting until I peel up the rest of the floors before I seal all the holes, so that none of this gets stuck to it and peels out when I take the floors off, right? Like those ones. I don't know if those are gonna stay in when I peel the floor up. I guess we'll find out. But if they don't, I'll peel it up. I'll seal whatever holes there are before the insulation goes down. I considered putting like a water-based sealer over this, like Thompson's water seal, which I think I have a can of just laying around in the garage, so I might do that just for fun. Put a little coat of it, especially around, you know, the entrance area or the windows and doors where it's more likely to see water intrusion. And then we'll go from there, but it's looking good so far, I would say. Maybe by nightfall, or maybe by the end of tonight, I will have the rest of this flooring up. I think I'm gonna opt to leave these tracks in because I don't want to go underneath cutting all those freaking bolts. And you can argue it all you want. You can come out and go under there with a grinder if you would like, but I'm not doing that, so they're gonna stay. And I'm not even gonna see them, feel them, or notice them. So I don't know what the point of removing them is. Just leave them there. Don't add extra work, because then at that point I just have cavities in my wood. At this point I just have little ones, which is fine. My phone is gonna go over all this. Got up to here so far. Now all I got left is basically this corner, that back strip. I'll probably have to wait to get that back corner until the heater's out, but good thing. Remember I was saying about the ceiling thing? Well, they just shoved these little caps in the holes and put a bunch of silicone over them. So yeah, it came right off as I peeled the floor off. Same one with the back one. So good thing I didn't try to seal the holes first. I am getting tired. My back is getting sore from being hunched over doing this stuff, so I'm probably gonna wrap this up so I'm also not making too much noise, because you know, crowbar up against the thing sometimes. So I don't want to disturb the neighbors, and there's not very much left. As you can see, there's just that strip, which I gotta remove that door sill to get off, which is getting kind of late, and I don't want to have to, you know, use the drill and take that off, peel that all off, put that back on. So I'll save that for another day. And then this strip is all that's left in the back, and then obviously around the edges, but again, I gotta take that door sill off to get to those ones, so we're gonna leave that for another time. But I'd say this is pretty good. This stuff is heavy, so I can't just like throw it in a garbage bag, because like a contractor's bag, it won't fill it, but it'll be too heavy for me to move, because it's just thick. And if you're wondering, why am I peeling this up? If I'm just gonna be covering it up anyways, just like the rails, then it's because I need to inspect the wood and make sure it's not rotted. That's first off. I don't know what happened here. It just stuck to the plywood so well that it started peeling the plywood off. So I started working around to get it up. But so yeah, first off, I need to inspect the wood, make sure it's not rotted. You know, like that area is questionable. Obviously around the doors is always questionable, and the windows. So that's the first reason. The second reason, that's more, you know, space that I'm taking up. You know, that little bit, that's like the thickness of my laminate flooring that's going down, you know, or you know, that's the thickness of laminate. So I'm losing that much in, you know, headroom in my layers. So, you know, you want to retain as much as you can, especially when you don't have much to work with in the first place. So that's why I'm doing that. So those two specific reasons. And so I could just seal it up, clean it up, and do what I need to do with it for my purposes. So yeah, I'm gonna clean this up in here and get it all locked up, and that is gonna be the end of today's video. Sorry if it's a little underwhelming. I didn't do a ton today, but I feel like the things that I did do today were pretty big steps towards our final goal. So I'm gonna clean this up. I'm gonna go outside, eat some dinner, edit this video. There may not be a video tomorrow, just as a heads up. I have some more stuff I have to do, so I might go get those cabinets. I don't know, we'll see. I might get those Friday. I don't know. I'm on the fence about when I'll pick up the cabinets, but I think I'll likely be busy tomorrow. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more.